You have probably done it without thinking. Held your baby in your arms and just started talking, narrating what you are making for lunch, describing the clouds outside the window, telling them about your day, even though they stare back at you with absolutely no idea what you are saying. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a small voice wonders, does any of this actually matter? They cannot understand me yet. They cannot respond. Is this just something parents do to fill the silence? Or is something real actually happening? Here is what the research says. Something real is happening. Something so significant that developmental scientists now consider the conversations you have with your baby before they can speak to be one of the most powerful predictors of their intelligence, emotional health, and social ability for the rest of their life. Not the flashcards, not the apps, not the educational programs that promise to accelerate their development. The talking. The ordinary, one-sided, slightly awkward talking that most parents already do and most parents already doubt. There is a name for what is happening inside your baby's brain during those conversations. And once you understand it, you will never again wonder whether your words are landing in an empty room. By the end of this, you will know exactly what your baby is doing with every word you say before they can say a single one back. And the 3 simple ways to make every conversation count even more. Researchers call it the language acquisition device, and the scientist who first described it, MIT linguist Noam Chomsky, made a discovery in the 1960s that transformed how we understand babies and language forever. Chomsky found that human babies are not blank slates waiting to be filled with words. They are born pre-wired for language. Their brains arrive in the world already equipped with the machinery to absorb, sort, and eventually produce human speech. But that machinery needs one thing to activate it: input. Real, human, directed, conversational input from a person who loves them. Picture this. Your baby is sitting in their bouncy chair in the kitchen while you make breakfast. You are cracking eggs and you say, almost without thinking, 2 eggs today. See how they crack? There they go. Your baby turns toward your voice. Their eyes find your face. Their mouth opens slightly. Inside their brain, something remarkable is unfolding. The auditory cortex is firing, processing the sounds of your specific voice. The language regions, Broca's area and Wernicke's area, are lighting up, even though your baby cannot produce or decode a single word yet. They are mapping. They are cataloging. They are building what researchers call a phonetic blueprint, a detailed internal model of the sounds, rhythms, and patterns of their native language. Every word you say is a data point, and their brain is collecting all of it. A landmark study led by Dr. Betty Hart and Dr. Todd Risley at the University of Kansas followed 42 families from the time their children were 7 months old through age 3. They recorded every word spoken to each child in the home, and then tracked those children's development for years afterward. What they found became one of the most cited findings in all of child development research. By age 3, children from talkative families had heard 30 million more words than children from less talkative families. And the size of that gap, what researchers began calling the word gap, directly predicted vocabulary size, reading ability, and academic performance years later. Not somewhat, not partially, directly and powerfully. But here is the part of that research most people never hear. It was not just the number of words that predicted outcomes. It was the quality of the talk. The words that mattered most were the ones spoken directly to the child, in response to what the child was doing or looking at, in a warm and engaged tone. Background television did not count. Conversations between adults in the same room did not count. What counted was a parent looking at their baby and talking with them. Not near them, not around them, but with them. Your baby is not a passive receiver of sound. They are an active participant in a conversation they cannot yet speak in. And every word you direct toward them is building something inside their brain that will shape how they think, learn, and connect with the world for the rest of their life. So, what does this look like in practice today? 3 things: simple, specific, and starting in the next ordinary moment you find yourself in with your baby. The first is this: talk to what they are looking at, not what you want them to look at. This is the most important shift most parents never make. When your baby's eyes land on something, the pattern on the curtain, the spoon on the table, the dog walking across the room, that is the moment to talk. Not to redirect them towards something more educational, not to introduce a new concept. Follow their gaze and put words on what they are already seeing. If they are staring at the ceiling light, you might say, "Oh, you found the light. It is bright, isn't it? It glows." If they are watching the dog, you might say, "That is Bruno. He is walking so slowly today. Look at his ears." The reason this works so powerfully is that your baby's brain is making a connection between the sound of your word and the object of their attention in real time. That is how words attach to meaning, not through repetition alone, through repetition in the moment of genuine attention. You cannot manufacture that moment. You can only follow it when your baby shows you where it is. The second is, use more words than you think you need. Researchers call this language stretching. Instead of saying cup when you hand your baby a cup, you say, "Here is your blue cup. It is a little cold today. Can you feel that?" Instead of bath time, you say, "Time for your bath. The water is going to be warm. You always kick so much in the water." Every additional word is another data point landing inside your baby's developing language system. Every descriptive word, the color, the temperature, the texture, the action, is expanding the phonetic map their brain is building of the world. You do not need to perform. You do not need to be clever or educational or intentional every second. You just need to say more than the minimum. More words, more warmth, more connection between what they see and what they hear. The third is pause and watch for their response. This is the step that turns a monologue into a conversation. After you say something to your baby, stop. Watch their face. Watch their body. A kick of the legs is a response. A widening of the eyes is a response. A soft sound in the back of their throat is a response. When you see it, respond back. "Oh, you liked that, didn't you? You want to hear more about the light." That back and forth, even before a single real word is spoken, is the conversational rhythm your baby's brain is learning to participate in. Researchers at MIT found that this conversational turn-taking, not word count alone, was the single strongest predictor of language development and neural connectivity in the language regions of the brain. The pause is not empty space. The pause is where the learning happens. No subscription box teaches your baby to turn-take. No app follows your baby's gaze and responds with warmth. No program on the market can replicate the specific, attuned, responsive conversation of a parent who stops, looks, and talks with the person in front of them. The fact that you already do this, that you already talk to your baby in the quiet moments without anyone telling you it mattered, says something true about the kind of parent you are. You were already doing the most important thing before you even knew it was the most important thing. That is not a small detail. That is everything. Carry this with you today. Every word you say to your baby, before they can say a single one back, is landing. It is being collected, mapped, and built into the architecture of a mind that is going to use that foundation for the rest of their life. The one-sided conversations are not one-sided at all. Your baby is answering with their whole brain. If this changed how you hear your own voice when you talk to your baby, subscribe to MotherCode. Every week we release new science-backed videos about what is really happening inside your child's developing mind, explained simply, without guilt, without overwhelm. A quick like helps other parents find this when they need it most. Until next time, keep talking. They are listening with everything they have.